Hello there. Welcome to One on One. My name is Bridget Otu. Thank you very much for joining us. I'm sure you've seen the flyer. Our topic is very simple. All things men's gold. Yes. The issue with men's gold does not seem to go away. That's because thousands are still owed by Nana Appiah Mensah, aka Nam1. Now, why is this interview coming at this very important time? That's because Nam1 has reared his head. Not that he's coming back to pay the money, he's back with his old tricks, using different medium on different media to perpetuate even more scam. And today we are going to expose him, hear from Men's Gold customers, aggrieved Men's Gold customers, what their lives have been and what this new modus operandi really is. Also, they went to court. Nana Appiah Mensah, after 36 appearances, finally made an appearance with heavy security. So why is the state protecting somebody who perpetuated a Ponzi scheme, a scammer? We'll tell you more about it. My guest is the Secretary for the Aggrieved Men's Gold Customers, Mr. Fred FORSON, who has spoken extensively about it, and he's here with me. Thank you very much for joining us on 101.
Thank you, Bridget, and nice meeting you.
Right. I'm just wondering, we will talk about, Nana Appiah's so-called validation statement he released, but the last time you went to court, what happened?
Yes, I think it was 26th July.
Right.
In the morning, we heard that the case was scheduled for that date, so we decided to go there. And our objective was to make a statement that, looking at the nature of #1 case and the people who are affected, we would wish that the case would be tried on a daily basis. So we rushed to court, and I don't know whether they heard that we were coming. So they hurriedly brought him, and as soon as he got there, the prosecutor raised the issue that the docket is still with the Attorney General, and so they had to postpone it to September. And Bridget, I can tell you the kind of security that we saw. I'm sure after the president, the
#1 is there.
#1 has the largest security around him, and it's something we have been asking ourselves. This is a gentleman that the state itself, even though allegedly, says that he has some altercations with the law. So one would wonder why this kind of security, and they are not private security, they are state security around him.
So police, military,
police,
what?
Some of them are even in mufti. And our issue is he an official of the state? And for what reason? I'm not sure anybody has any intention to harm him. We want him alive so that he will assist in paying us our money. Because I'm sure he has the keys to unlock where our investments are. Even if he cannot pay everything, he should be able to cough up some of the monies that are locked in. And so nobody wish him dead, but at least we don't understand why we are suffering customers. We are not protected. We, the victims, are not protected. But the one who has caused us that much pain is rather giving state security. We don't know. Maybe the Minister of Interior or the Minister of Information or the Attorney General himself should be able to tell us. Because it's a question to them. And sometimes I ask myself, this is a gentleman who has caused so much pain. Even whether directly or indirectly, he is the one. He is the one that we all named, we all know. He said he was a director of the company, he was the CEO of the company.
It was his brain idea. It was his brainchild.
That's it.
He is the one behind it. He is the one who perpetuated
so he
the
has
scam.
So much security. He is living very well. Whilst last time we went to Parliament, we checked 210 people have lost their lives. Wow. 210, Bridget. Out of the number, we are told 3 people committed suicide, including a university lecturer. We went to Parliament, one of us
who
cannot see. Yes, and it wasn't because he was having the eye problem before the incident. He had his problem when we went to #1 house. There's this lady.
What happened when he went there?
When we went there, we were chased. And some of them fell down. There was another lady, she also fell down. And I even have the video here. Maybe I have to send
Yes,
to you.
we will play it.
The leg is so swollen that sometimes they drain out blood. And one time she showed me a container with blood from human being, human body. I told you about one of them who died in my hands at 37 last year. A lot. There was one guy, he's around 25 years old. He was a student of Islamic University. He died of diabetes, about a kidney problem, kidney failure, about 2-3 months ago. A lot of them, at least. In fact, our issue sometimes people think
from the shock. Yeah, go ahead.
People think we are just making up stories. It is not. Even these are reported cases. The 210 figure that we are quoting, they are reported cases. There are others which are not even not known to us. A lot of people are really suffering. Sometimes on Sunday, my dear, you will there, Fred, today if you don't send us money, we are not going to eat. And these are not ladies, these are men. Some of them have run out of their homes because they went to borrow money. There's this young guy who has left a wife. That this he called himself a subcontractor. They brought 250,000 cedis to him to do a contract for his brother-in-law. Then I think he had about 2-3 months before he could start. So he said, okay, let me pass through Men's-Gold. And the very week that he went, the collapse happened. And this person who has caused us the pain is rather enjoying. It's rather having security. And the victims are naked, walking on the street. Is this fair? I wonder how he sleeps. After the court, Wednesday, over the weekend, I was there. I wasn't online, so I was getting a lot of calls. I said, what?
Can you hold on a bit?
Yeah.
I just want to, we will talk about it, but I just want to go over what he just said, the seriousness of it. That since NAM1 perpetuated his scam, and you cannot call it any other thing. Men's-Gold was a scam, a Ponzi scheme, and you need to wake up to the reality. It was a scam. NAM1 perpetuated a scam. It was a Ponzi scheme. And since then, people have lost their lives. Those they know are 210 people. They have lost their lives. 210. Think about that. 210. How many families have lost lives? That's 210. But each member that has lost a life had a number of people who were under him or her. So that's how serious is it. And why is the state protecting a scammer? What did they tell you about why the AG claims not to have the docket, not to have sent the docket there? When they knew they had a case that day, what did they say?
From where we sit, I remember last year, immediately after the interview here, then we heard Iyoko boss says that it is difficult to prosecute the NAM1 case.
We actually heard it before we did the interview, and I asked you about it.
And true to her words, they are not able to, because they cannot find which law NAM1 violated. They say, so which law prompted Security and Exchange Commission to collapse the business?
Yeah.
Because if you cannot find a law to prosecute him, it means that there was also no law that NAM1 violated, and so you had to go and close it down. Even though in your communique or your justification for shutting down Men's-Gold, you quoted the Security and Industry Act. So what are you telling us? And last Wednesday was the 36th time that this case has been postponed. What is happening? If you think you don't have an issue with NAM1, okay, then just own up and take the responsibility of settling the customers. Our request is so dangerous. Is it too hard for the government to admit? Because since for 5 years, I wonder, even the case has not started though, because they have not actually crystallized the charges. The docket is still with NAM1.
AG.
It's still with the AG.
Yeah.
This is the power issue. Just yesterday or this morning, I
the
heard the AG making a comment.
An advice.
So what is stopping? Sometimes these are our politicians and our leaders.
Who in government or who? I know you have ears and you can
hear
things and pick up.
We have ears a lot.
So what have you picked up as who are the protectors of number one, and why are they shielding the scammer?
Prosecuting number one may open up a lot of words.
Right.
That's what we are hearing because, like you said, we have friends in government. Some of them we sat with them in the classroom and stuff like that. A lot. Hey, every office that you enter, you go there, somebody is affected. Even go to Jubilee House, there are people who are affected. And I must admit that it is not everybody in government who supports what Naman is doing.
Right.
It appears there is a few people who are trying to shield Namwan.
Are they people close to the president? Because if you are not close to the president, I'm wondering what power you have to say. Are they close to the president?
Some of them, it appears they are close to the president, but it appears the president himself is not in support of what is happening. Somebody whispered to us in 2020 that even the current Attorney General, one of the people in the industry, said the current Attorney General was one time instructed to ensure that he retrieves our money for us when he was the deputy. This happened in 2020. He said this issue happened twice, but as we speak, nothing is happening. So it appears the president as a person is not even in support, or maybe he has not been well briefed about this men's gold issue. There may be some small people within.
Okay.
And it appears that even they do not have any cogent reason why they should even protect Namwan. I don't even know why they are doing that. But we want to advise them. What we are fighting for today is the injustice in the system. And we are not doing it for today only. We are also doing it for the future. So that next time, because you are in power today, you may have political power. But this power has a lifespan. The next time you'll be sitting outside, and this thing will be done to your descendants, and you may not have anybody to defend you or to fight for your cause.
All right, so we will look at the latest modus operandi, latest trick, number one, the scammer is employing to again deceive the public. And he is a scammer. There is no other way to describe him. He is not the first scammer, and he is not the first person to perpetuate the pyramid or to run a Ponzi scheme. When you look at the men's gold letterhead, which we will put on our screen, you will see it's a pyramid. I mean, there is no better way to describe a business than its own logo, which is a pyramid. Now, what is this? So number one, Nana Appiah Mensah posted this, and it says, we'll put it on the screen. So, completion of transaction validation exercise. It's not the first time we've seen this. You know, scammers, they keep going back to look for, when they see the system is a bit, quiet, then they come out with another thing. I don't know, how did Nawan fool anybody? He cannot fool me for a second. How did he fool so many people, right? So he says completion of transaction validation exercises following the gold trading transaction claims, supporting document collection and vetting exercise initiated. We are happy to announce that the validation has successfully been completed. Well, have you been validated?
I'm not even aware. I remember in 2019 that we submitted some document to him. After, one month after that, our trade agreement document. 1 month after the submission of those documents, he came out with a 3-year payment.
So it's not the first time, like I said.
So we don't know who even supervised this.
So the scammers always move. They're always looking for, they know people are gullible, they are vulnerable. So they're always looking for new tricks. So this was done, it wasn't in 2020. In 2019 rather, look at that. And in 2019 it was completed, and he set out a 3-year payment plan, which meant that if he were not a scammer, if he were sincere, it means that he should have finished paying by 2022, because this was done in 2019, or granted, he should have finished paying by 2023. But the scammer that he is, this is what Naman is doing now in 2023, with the support of the state, of course, that with regards to the binding confidentiality clause in the gold trading agreement between our company and traders, and by strict adherence to data protection, really, we have collaborated with the company to host the report or results electronically with a restricted access. And we will talk about that restricted access. Number one has a new scam which will cost you 600 cedis, and I'll make sure that that man never gets a cedi from anybody as long as we're in this country. Someone did it in America, stole almost $47 billion, but he was sentenced to over 100 years in prison, Bailey Madoff, and he died in prison. So if this country were a country of laws, where systems work, number one should be rotten in jail. So I want to talk about the second paragraph. We are reading the scammer's message paragraph by paragraph, okay? It says, with regards to the confidentiality agreement, right, between our company and traders, by strict adherence to data protection, with the company, right, they are collaborating with the company to host, report the results electronically with the restricted access, and that in a few days, traders would be granted access to digitally check their validated transaction status at an exact individually scheduled binding payment date. So guess what? Please, in simple terms, number one now wants money from MENZGOLD customers before you can access your own money. You see what they say? When a scammer wants to scam, he tells you that, oh, pay 100 cedis so that you can get 200. Easy scam. You don't even need a brain to know that it's a scam. Number one now wants MENZGOLD customers who are owed money to pay him money so that they can see their own money. Come on, Ghanaians. I thought you people are smarter than this. I can't. What is this?
Yes, Bridget, I read this. In fact, when I saw this over the weekend, I said, in one breath, you are saying that data protection something. In another breath, you are giving the documents or the information to another company.
To another company too.
So you are even contradicting yourself. Number two, who supervised this validation? Because that is a very important question. If you did it in your kitchen or your bedroom, you can end up even populating the list. You can even add your own list to it. Again, you may look at my face and say that Fred's face is always on radio talking about me. Then you delete my name and say that that guy who is always shouting and crying is not a customer. So who validated this? Then the other thing that also is that he said, you know the Yahoo type of grammar. That's what he's writing there.
Yes.
So people will be contacted digitally, seamlessly, and those things. So it means that the 210 people who are in the grave can also access their information. A day after he issued this on the 30th of July, we heard that he had a meeting with some people.
Yes.
And in that meeting, they are discussing how customers is coming out with a scratch card.
So yes, I will let you continue. So another one to point out that it's a scam, and we will hold this government responsible for what is happening. For the 210 people who have died is on Namwan's head, and also on this government head who refuses to prosecute Namwan. If they are not going to get their money, prosecute and jail Namwan for the scam for the scammer that he is and the scam that he has perpetrated. So this is what came out of a meeting held by number one and those he trusts the most. And this is what he said. He's saying that if you want to access your own money, you are going to pay about between 500 and 600 cedis to access, now that you are validated. So just think about it. Let's do granted, how many people are owed by number one? How many? Let's assume.
For our coalition, we have over 10,600 people.
So just over 10,000. So only the coalition, that is those who are even bold enough to come out. So let's say 10,000, right? If number one says pay him 600, right? 10,000 people, that's a 6 million cedis. If you are, excuse my language on television, if you're stupid enough to pay number one 600 cedis, he will make 6 million off you. He is going to scam you again. So please, if you care about your life, your future, and you don't want to deal with this scammer called number one, please do not pay any money to access your own money. The state should do the needful, and I will make sure number one never steals anyone's one city in this country.
Bridget,
so
do you know,
what is going to happen? So what happened?
When this came out, when this came out, I think it got to his attention. Then on 1st August, we put out this thing on the 31st. 1st August now, he goes to Brew Marketing Company. You know, the letter is written, you see, sealed there.
Yes,
So this was secret.
Yeah.
I quickly check on his page. It's not on his page, but
Yeah.
he's rather talking about the coup in Niger.
Yes, I've seen it.
As if he doesn't have anything to do with this
Yeah,
thing.
yeah, I've seen it.
Now he's asking those customers that he sacked on the 20th of December. He issued a letter and virtually constructively dismissed all the workers. On this letterhead, he's recalling them, promising them to bring 5 people. When you read, he's bringing up, if you are a worker and you bring, he said, kindly consider this as a formal notice of the successful completion of the Men's Gold Ghana's trading transaction validation exercise accomplishment in the face of the bizarre, challenging socioeconomic and legal impediments. This achievement is a major audacious step towards, you see, he write plenty grammar. It's good. Staff of the previous regime are entreated to note that with respect to the above, the following incentives has been instituted as part of the resolution in the broader scope of the solution. A measure for staff to chiefly be prioritized to recover your personal transactional sums.
Yeah.
A measure for staff to submit a list of 5 transactions referrals made.
Yeah.
Ideally in your most immediate social cycles.
Yeah.
To be included in a payment priority list.
Okay, so let me say what he just said in simple terms, right? NAM1 has gone back to the Brew Marketing Company. Brew Marketing is being run by a relative of NAM1, someone who is supposed to be a talented designer and also has also decided to join the scam, right? And they are back. Simply in 2 paragraphs, what they are saying is that if you are an old staff of Men's Gold, right, come back. When you come, we will give you the money that we owe you. But before we give you the money, come with 5 people who are your immediate, so your family members, your brothers and sisters. When you bring them, they will pay money. And that is the money they are going to use to start another scam. So even this, Ghana Police Service, Attorney General, NAM1 should not be walking free and be perpetuating a scam. This is also a scam. Has the what is it called? The SEC, has the SEC not seen this? The NAM1 has started another scam on the back of Men's Gold to do this. So in 2, you come back, we'll pay you your money, but come with 5 people. When they say referral, just come with 5 people, your immediate surrounding. So NAM1 is a born scammer, continuing his scam, and the state is allowing him to scam people. Oh, I wish I were Attorney General. I hope I don't get the opportunity to be an Attorney General. He will be the first person I will prosecute if I were
this one,
Attorney General.
He didn't make it public. It's sealed. It's to the people that he met. And because please, Ghanaians, we beg you, we should all be each other's keeper. Okay. I have fallen into this trap, and so I do not want.
That is why it has become your life's mission.
Yeah, to ensure that. In fact, I am fighting for justice. You're also fighting for justice. I am against injustice, and I think this is injustice. Yeah. To the highest order. Let us all be our brother's keeper. And please, NAM1, I am not against you. Yeah. I'm told you also grew up in Kipus, just as I am. And around Accra.
He's fancy.
He's a fancy.
Hey, yes, he's the house. Probably the first known fancy scammer I know.
And I'm told the house, the house opposite Accra Station, Tantry. That's where somebody showed me the house. That's where I also grew up at a press flat, K.O. Samson area. So we are all have something to do with Nanambra, our late chief.
No, I don't think. I don't even care whether he's a fancy or not. He's committed a crime and he should be prosecuted.
I don't think
it's as simple as that.
What is happening is good. So please, I am not against you, but I am against your activities. Your activities. I am never against you. Okay. You are also created in the image of God, but I'm not against you. We're
going to take a break. We're taking our very first break. If you've just joined us, we're talking about Men's Gold and Nana Appiah Mensah, who is back in the limelight because he's such a shameless scammer. A scammer the state has refused to prosecute for perpetuating his Ponzi scheme on thousands of people. 210 of them have died. 210 that we know of. It means there could be more that we don't know of. And the state, till this day, the Attorney General has refused to submit a docket on NAM1 to be prosecuted. We're taking a break. When we come back, we'll look at that And we'll also look at the aggrieved men's gold customer. They went to the Speaker of Parliament. What was the visit about? What assurances, I know there's a committee to be set up, but what assurances did the Speaker of Parliament give them in respect of the money to be paid to them? We'll be right back. Welcome back to 101. My name is Bridget Otu. I hope you're on social media with your comments on it. I know I'm extremely emotional and passionate about this because I cannot stand scammers. I mean, people who think that they can prey on the vulnerabilities of other people, who think that they are smarter than others by not working hard, but just being there and preying on individuals who have worked so hard for their money. And their only mistake was to invest in a company they thought was legitimate, until this happened, and the state also refusing to do so. So Nam1, who is a scammer, men's gold scammer, Ponzi scheme runner, is still walking free and has tremendous security and protection. There are people within the government, even the corridors of the president himself at the Jubilee House, who are supporting him. If they are not, they should prove to us that they are not and prosecute Nam1. Fred FORSON is a secretary to the aggrieved men's gold customers, and that coalition alone are members of numbering about 10,000. There's more, but the coalition they alone are about 10,000. So I want to talk about going to Parliament. When did you arrive at that decision to go to Parliament?
Yes, I think way back in 2021, we petitioned the Right Honourable Speaker. Then from there, he directed us, and we also petitioned as a member of Parliament. And on 3rd November 2021, he filed a motion. And in that motion, he's requesting Parliament to set up an ad hoc committee to look into the issue. And the end result, as we also wish, is that customers could be bailed out by the government. And we gave him a reminder. And subsequent to that, he wrote to us that he would wish to meet us, and that is what made us visit him during the week.
Okay.
Now he's made a promise that the petition or the motion has gone through several procedures.
Okay. What was in the motion? Was it to help you just retrieve your money?
Yes. The focus of the motion is to enable us retrieve our money. And Parliament, like the committee he spoke about, when the committee will go and work and submit a report to Parliament for consideration. And like I said, all that we want is how we can retrieve our money. Because you remember in 2020, the Honourable Finance Minister sent a memo to Parliament asking for money. And Parliament gave him that money. In that memo, the minister indicated that they want to bail out those who have done affected customers of the financial sector cleanup. And there is a clause in it under those who did the securities, those who traded in securities.
Yeah.
He said that those who did risky investment, those whose investment were considered risky. And to most members of Parliament, they understand men's gold issue also to be part of those of us highly risky.
Right.
So if government gave a bailout to some group of customers, in their thinking, they believe that men's gold customers should have been considered. So that is the direction of the motion.
Okay.
That government will rope us in. And so please.
So if they rope you in that, assuming, I mean, of course, this is a big if.
Yes.
If you're roped in and you get your money, Nam1 is free.
That is because as for Nam1, Bridget, yes. For Nam1, it is between him and the government. But in the current criminal issue, there are two outcomes. Even though I know the court has a consequential order that they can make, but there are two possible outcomes. Either Nam1 is acquitted and discharged, or Nam1 is prosecuted,
jailed.
Is jailed.
Right.
So there's no way we are going to retrieve our money. We will still need the civil option.
Yes, to be able to retrieve them. I get it.
So I think what Parliament is coming to do, they are not going to go the civil aspect. They are not going to go into the criminal aspect. That one is for the courts, and the courts will handle that. So please, our members of Parliament, when this issue comes before you, we expect you. Don't raise this issue about the criminal aspect, and because that one the court is dealing with it, and you are all aware how the case is traveling. It's at a very snail pace. Please, this is the civil matter, and all that we want is that as Parliament, the People's Parliament, they want to save lives. I mean, how do we sit in a democracy for 30 years of life of a democracy, and a men's good matter, just number one? We cannot get anybody in this 30 million, over 30 million population. There is no institution that will be able to handle number one. I mean, I can't understand this. Where? Which country will this happen?
I tell you.
For 5 good years,
yeah,
we are not able to prosecute the case. The customers are not being settled, and people continue to die, and we stay in a country like this. I mean, this is a shame.
Yeah.
It's a disgrace for the leadership of the country.
And if you're just joining us, I mentioned earlier that Bernie Madoff, same. He had a fantastic, beautiful family, walked in the corridors of Hollywood, worked with a powerful. But when the states got wind of the fact that his business module was just a Ponzi scheme and a scammer, a fraudster, they prosecuted him. They prosecuted him. People lost their money, but he was prosecuted and jailed. He died in prison. That's a system where laws work. That's a system where at least people can dream of justice. But what about us here? Yes, now one may know friends in the corridor, but the law knows no one, has no friends. The law is the law. So why is it so difficult to prosecute somebody who has hurt so many families? I mean, somebody steals a goat and the person gets 10 years. Somebody steals a mobile phone and they are jailed. We don't even know what custodial sentences is. We jail people 6 months. Somebody, picked the other time, I think I was reading about somebody who knocked soup or something, and I think the goat in it, and they jail the person. Like some of the stories are so crazy and so unbelievable. We are jailing people for goats, and a person who has stolen literally money off of thousands of people, and we are not able to prosecute him. Isn't it a shame to this country that we call Ghana? Isn't it a shame? And there is no person. Number one was not even as powerful as Bernie Madoff. Number one was not as powerful as Bernie Madoff. Not even close, not even 10% close. But look at what he has done to this country. Had so many families. So if you don't know, please Google who Bernie Madoff is. Google and read his story and read what the US, the states, what they did to him and how he died in prison.
Bridget, if maybe this may sound controversial, if you think you don't even have enough information to prosecute, you prosecute him and free him so that we know that he's free. Because what you are doing it's even hurting us. If you even think that you don't have enough information, Attorney General of Department and the prosecution team, what you are doing is rather making us think that you are rather the people who don't want to prosecute you. You send your inadequate information or the hollow portfolio or brief that you have to court and let him be freed. Then we know that after all he's freed. You understand? So that we can go after him individually and retrieve our investment and deal with him.
Yes.
As we speak, his vehicles have been sold.
Yes.
They sold all the vehicles. All the vehicles have been sold.
But if they sold his vehicle, which vehicle did he come with?
Oh, he's in. He rides in one of the Porsche flights.
Exactly. So he still has money.
Those which were confiscated. That's what I'm talking about. So you sold all these things.
He still has a house where he sleeps in.
Just last week or so, I think Monday, the brew marketing office at Kaswa is being auctioned.
But I thought there was supposed to be a freeze on his assets. So who is selling these things?
That is the big question. That's why I'm saying that as for this country, I don't know how to describe it. This country, oh no. This is not a democracy. Oh, I'm telling you, it is not. Because one of the tenets of democracy is the rule of law. So if a court has given an order to confiscate all the assets of men's gold and number one, how come the brew marketing office at Kaswa is being auctioned? That is a big question. how come the very Trazaco house, which was contained in the asset that were frozen by the court, is being occupied by Namwan? How come? That's what I'm saying, that this is not a democracy. Maybe we need to find, maybe at the end of it, or Ghana will say that I am not a democracy. Because I don't get it. I don't even understand why this men's gold issue should drag for 5 years. And it appears there's no end in sight. Last year, we were fortunate the president bid us to bring a petition to him.
Yeah. Have you heard anything?
We are still doing the follow-up. We have not heard anything from him, but we are still using this big platform to appeal to Mr. President to act on it for us, so that at least we shall receive our money. We are pleading with you, Mr. President. Try it. Look at the many lives that are being lost. It is not easy, Bridget. I'm telling you, it is never easy. It is not. Life, for men's good customers. And our religious bodies, you are also affected. Sometimes I hear of pastors who have died because of men's good. I'm telling you. Church of, this time, please allow me to mention the name. Church of Pentecost.
Yeah.
The last time we met, they said 3 pastors died around 2020 because of men's good. We went to SDA, the list, there's a church in Accra here. We went and had a meeting there. The list they brought to us are pastors. The least amount there was not even 20,000 Ghana cedis.
Oh.
And I don't know why you are quiet. A couple of weeks ago, I heard there was a symposium at Kaswa Pentecost, something, calling for leadership. In my opinion, I wonder why I did not table the men's good matter for discussion. Because you had the former president, the 2 former presidents,
the morality,
the morality program, show. Right. I was expecting you to bring this thing to the fore. I would have clapped for you. God would have been happy with you, chairman of Church of Pentecost. Because we are, I'm saying it because we have brought a petition to the church. So you have a petition before you. I was expecting this thing to have been tabled before that forum for a discussion. Because
you are talking about morality. Where is your conscience? Where is your conscience? I mean, basically, that's what it is.
And men's gold issue, people are dying. Over 210 people have died. What are you? What do you want to say? What are you doing? What are you saving? Jesus on the cross left all the people and saved one soul. He saved them. Jesus was saving people one at a time. So I was expecting the morality conference to have something about men's gold.
Well, how much of a cost has men's gold been to you as a person?
I told you I was pursuing a PhD. I had to.
Yeah.
A lot, Bridget. I'm telling you. I decided at a certain age that I was going to employment, so I did a lot of investment.
Yeah.
But so much.
Oh.
I think this week or last week I posted what I used to do. The vulnerable children in some schools in a district.
Yeah.
Every year I was renewing their health insurance card for them and those who didn't have school children. I make sure they get it. I buy, when the school reopens, I purchase exercise books from Accra here. When I'm going on weekend, and I go and do distribution in the school. I buy full bills and I go and distribute. I give it to vulnerable parents, mothers, clothes, and those things. So, Facebook usually reminds you of previous activities. So I was there, some of these pictures pop up. Then I posted it and said, all these people are now denied of those opportunities. Because I was doing it. When we do, I also feed them.
Yeah.
I send a car, go to the village to bring them, transport them to the center. I will renew their health insurance card for them. I feed them. Then we take them back to their various destinations. I said they should look at the vulnerable, the poor people who cannot afford. Then they bring them to the center. That's what I was doing. But now I cannot afford. Because now I'm also struggling to make ends meet.
Wow.
Even though sometimes I don't even consider my situation. Because as a leader, like I said, people will be calling you. As I speak, I have some about 2 or 3, 5 requests I need to meet in my DM. So sometimes when I get, okay, Charlie, for we see her, for we closer, then we move on. It's not easy. But we are praying that this matter will come to an end, and we are working on it. So I want to assure our customers that don't give up. Don't fall for his latest releases.
Yes, I was about to come on.
Don't fall for it.
Yeah.
Don't fall for it. The pay boy issue came the same manner. People fell for it. They paid money, and those monies were not retrieved. The matter went to court. We are told the court has has discharged the people. We have approached Yoko to give us a copy of the judgment, because we heard Yoko said they have applied for the judgment. We want to also get it and study it and know on what grounds were the people discharged. But please, these things that he's releasing, he quickly, after all these things came out, he quickly came out and said that, payboy has been discharged. So when you read, I've seen it. I've seen it. It's on his page. You see the same grammar. Yeah, the same and now grammar, this one is on his page.
Yeah, it's on his page. The payboy.
The same grammar is writing.
Yeah, and please pay attention.
Just to woe you into it again and think that, please, we are begging you.
Yeah. Okay.
Don't.
All right.
Don't.
I'm glad you said that. I think it's very important that you said that. Fred, I really want to thank you for coming in the studio and always bearing your heart out. I think that it's important when people see how charged, how emotional, and then you tell stories of what is happening in the lives of persons who invested in this company that perpetrated the scam led by NAM1. It's always, bring a very good human perspective to it, because sometimes you talk about people, but you need to know who they are and the kind of change this whole harm has caused them. So thank you for coming. Now, if you're at home, please, we're hoping that you will not fall for NAM1 scam again. The validation he posted is a scam. It's just another trick. It's a scam. Please don't fall for it. 2, he says that anyway, if you want, you are validated. But if you want, you are going to buy a card, which will cost you around 560 to 600 cedis to be able to access it. Don't. He owes you, okay? You can be smart. Play his game. Say that, okay, NAM1, don't worry. Pay me my money and I'll give you your 600. So how about that, NAM1? Since you are so smart than everybody, why don't you actually pay them their money? And then you can take your 600 from it. Or so if you owe someone, so let's say you owe Fred 50,000 cedis. Okay, NAM1, he won't pay your scam 600 cedis. So just give Fred 49,400 and keep the 600. It is very simple, but because he's a scammer and a heartless scammer, NAM1 still wants money from the same people and saying that, look, if you're an ex-employee, come back, come with 5 people, let the 5 people bring money. Us. And then we will pay you yours. What he simply means is that bring 5 people, we'll take the 5 people's money. We'll take part of it, of the money that you have brought from the 5 people, not from him, from the 5 people, and then we'll pay you. Then we owe the 5 people. That's how Ponzi scheme works. Please, I am begging you. I know things are tough. I know we're going through a lot in this country. We are in a crisis. The domestic debt exchange program is still on. I know people are suffering. Please, NAM1 is heartless. Even in the hardship, he's still planning another scam. Please, I'm begging you. I'm going on my knees. Please, I'm on my knees. Please, don't fall for it. Right, so that interview was recorded 2 weeks ago. And on Saturday, I posted on my Twitter that we were going to air that interview. And since then, NAM1 held a Twitter space to respond to the content of the interview that had been leaked, some of the contents that had been leaked. And one of the things, if there was one good thing that came out of that post, was that he has reversed the 650 cedis that he was demanding of already aggrieved, impoverished, some are even ill MENZGOLD customers. So you won't pay 650, but if you try the first time and you fail and you keep going, you might be asked to pay. But it's still a scam. NAM1 is a scammer. He's still scamming you. So don't fall for that. He's not that smart. NAM1 thinks you are stupid to fall for his scam again. Do not fall for it. The websites they are using for the validation, a validation he did in 2019. Validation in 2019, he mentioned that MENZGOLD customers would pay 9% of their money. He's only changed this in 2023, asking you to pay 650 cedis. It's the same scam. He thinks you have either forgotten or you're stupid to pay that money. So please do not fall for that scam. We'll put those two letters from 2019 and 2023 together of the so-called fake validation. And then you will see. Also, the website they are using it for. The website was just activated a few weeks ago. So thanks, I said RB, we'll put their Twitter account, RB Bekwe. He went to investigate it and found out that the website was just activated recently and he's only paid for like a year. After they take your money, he would bolt. The same #1 is behind Citicoin that he was engaging your favorite musician to push it. Well, we called him out. Bank of Ghana issued a statement and we stopped Citicoin, which #1 is behind. He's still doing the scam because he thinks we are stupid. Authorities are allowing him to continuously scam people. So if they will not imprison him like they did Bernie Madoff, who was jailed 150 years, we will keep calling him a scammer, a low-life Kasua scammer, until he's jailed, or we will continuously shame him till he leaves this country. My name is Bridget Otu. Thank you very much for watching.